Some people are incredibly smart. They have all the facts, they have all the ideas. But the moment they open their mouths to try and convince you of something, you just find yourself tuning them out. It's not because their idea is bad, it's because they don't know how to build the bridge between their mind and yours. In public speaking and academic debate, an idea without structure is just noise. Sometimes arguments just get treated like an unorganized pile of bricks. They get picked up and thrown at the audience, and hopefully a house will form. But true masters, they are architects. Today, I'm going to show you the blueprint to the construction of an argument that is so structurally sound, that is so airtight, that your audience won't just listen, they'll completely buy in. To take your communication from a random pile of bricks to a magnificent skyscraper, we're going to take a look at the 4 pillars of argument construction. And this is the exact foundational framework used in champion debate circuits. And here's the blueprint for today. The claim, the warrant, the data, the impact. So the claim, this is your headline, how to label your idea so it instantly snaps the audience to attention. Secondly, the warrant, your engine. This is the underlying logic that proves that your point is actually true. The data, this is your anchor, third-party evidence that gives you instant bulletproof credibility. And finally, the impact is the heart of your argument, is the exact reason why your argument should actually matter to human lives and why it should sway the judge to vote for you. To make this practical, we're going to build an argument from scratch using a nice forward-looking motion. We should prioritize space exploration over climate action. Let's break that down. Pillar number 1 is the claim. You can think of a claim like a billboard on a highway. It should be short, it should be punchy, and it should intuitively make sense. A major mistake many speakers make is being vague. If you stand up and you say, "My first argument for space exploration is economy," then you've already created what we call dissonant communication. This is where the audience or the judge's brain starts scrambling. Is it good for the economy? Is it bad? Why? Why are we even talking about the economy? Claims like that, labelled in that way, are actually working against you. Instead, you want convergent communication. You need specific language that immediately labels your point and links it back to your purpose. Watch how we turn a boring idea into a powerful headline. The first reason why we need to prioritize space exploration is that it catalyzes technological innovation. Boom. Nobody wonders what that means. The only question left is how. And that leads us perfectly onto our next step, the warrant. Pillar number 2. A claim without a warrant is just a naked assertion. It's an opinion with no backbone. The warrant is your logical explanation as to why your claim is true. Here's a golden rule for your script. Always verbally prompt your warrant by using explicit transition phrases like, "This is true because," or "This occurs because." This forces your brain to actually deliver logic rather than just rambling. So let's attach the engine to our space claim. This is the case because the extreme, unforgiving environments of deep space force scientists to engineer radical solutions in automation, robotics, and resource recycling. Solutions that find immediate, powerful utility back here on Earth. And that's how it works. We didn't just state a fact. We walked the audience down a logical path. But wait, right now, you're just a person talking on a stage, behind a desk, or on a webcam. Why should anyone actually believe your arguments? Why should they believe your logic? And that is why we need pillar 3, the data. This is the evidence, and evidence anchors your logic into reality. This can be expert testimony, statistics, scientific studies, published journal entries, or concrete examples. Now, in public forums, cited sources are preferred. So definitely think about that and be ready to cite your sources too. For world schools, real-world examples are sufficient. For example, according to the Space Foundation, every single dollar invested in space exploration historically yields over $7 in return to the broader economy through commercialized spin-off technologies, including advanced solar panels and water purification systems. Now, your argument is no longer just a smart, logical idea. It's an undeniable fact backed by global metrics. Now listen, the next step is where 99% of speakers fail, but is the most critical part of the entire architecture. Impact. Impact answers the brutal question that every judge and every audience is secretly asking. So what? Why should I care? Abstract statistics don't move human hearts. Human lives do. You must take your data, you must take your idea and tie it to a tangible human experience. What shall we close the loop and finish our space exploration argument? This is profoundly important because the breakthrough technologies engineered for space, like the ultra-efficient water purification and advanced solar grid tracking, are the very tools required to save millions of families in developing nations from drought and resource scarcity. By prioritizing the crucible of space exploration, we don't abandon climate action. We create the advanced technological salvation that makes climate action possible. So just to make sure that you dominate your next public forum round, let's distill all these ideas into a simple, clean, straightforward framework. We'll call it the CWDI checklist of a champion argument. Your claim is your billboard. Label it clearly and keep it punchy. 2, the warrant. This is the engine of your argument. This is true because, to explain your logic. And then thirdly, the data. This is your anchor. You should cite expert evidence to establish instant credibility. And then 4 is impact, the very heart of your argument, the reason why the audience should care. Tie the numbers to real effects on human lives. And remember, masterclass communication is not about having the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the most structured, the most intentional, and the most prepared. Put this blueprint into your next practice speech. Time your delivery and command the room.